As we inch closer and closer to the release of Avengers Endgame, the number of theories and speculation concerning that film's plot seems to increase exponentially. One of those theories concerns Doctor Strange and what he really saw in the future. Before the battle on Titan, Doctor Strange peeked into 14 million timelines and saw one outcome where they won. But what else did he see? Avengers Infinity War ended with a surprise. Fans had become conditioned to expect that the heroes would win their respective battles in a given Marvel movie. Death and consequences aren't really something the MCU focuses on, but all that changed in Infinity War. For the duration of the movie, the Mad Titan Thanos was on a quest to gather the 6 Infinity Stones in order to wipe out half the universe's population, all in the name of saving it. Totally crazy plan, but that wasn't stopping him. When he finally had all 6, he actually succeeded in wiping out half of everyone in the universe, and watched the sunrise on a new dynasty by the film's finale. It was a bold move that left many filmgoers speechless. But is all that death and despair really part of the plan? Before the epic showdown between Thanos and Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and half the Guardians of the Galaxy, Strange took a moment to meditate and look into the future to analyze the coming conflict. He saw over 14 million possible timelines thanks to using the Time Stone's awesome powers. Of all those outcomes, only one saw the Avengers come out as winners. When Peter Quill acts on his emotions upon learning of Gamora's fate, however, things seem to derail from the plan as Thanos recovers from the attack and ultimately overpowers everyone, forcing Doctor Strange to surrender the Time Stone in exchange for Tony's life. He did this stating it was the only way, implying the plan is still on. But this theory actually suggests that Doctor Strange's vision of the future isn't what we had in mind. In order to comprehend this theory, we have to not only take a look at what happened in Infinity War, but take a look at Doctor Strange's 2016 origin film, where the rules of the Time Stone were heavily explained, as well as a deep dive into the psyche of Dr. Stephen Strange himself. While we've all been claiming that the key to victory in Endgame is time traveler Captain Marvel, the real key to success may be the subtle decisions Strange put into motion. If you've been following the Endgame theories, you may have noticed that Doctor Strange seems to be at the heart of quite a few of them. He is, after all, the master of the Time Stone during the events of Infinity War and one of the strongest beings in the MCU.
Yeah, that's the thing.
His mastery of the mystic arts puts him in another class when compared to the other Avengers. But one has to bear in mind that Strange is pretty new to being the Sorcerer Supreme, and that other beings have protected and used the Time Stone before him, something that many people seem to forget. The only other individual we know who has used the Time Stone housed in the Eye of Agamotto is the Ancient One herself. The Ancient One was certainly powerful and helped guide Strange on his journey in learning the magical arts. But despite her power, we never saw her use the Time Stone. But that doesn't mean she's never dabbled in its potential.
Arrogance, ambition, I've seen it all before.
Before her demise, she confides in Doctor Strange that she has peeked into time numerous times in her life, trying to see past her final moments. In the same line, she mentions she's prevented numerous tragedies and terrible futures from happening, and that she's tried looking into Strange's future before, only to see numerous possibilities, rather than one distinct path. This is likely due to the fact that Doctor Strange will open up his future to multiple possible outcomes, which makes his own future uncertain in the eyes of the Ancient One. She can't see his future because he's seen so many futures. What's more is that he's going to toss those futures aside in favor of a gamble. Her parting message to Strange was to instill the lesson that arrogance and fear have prevented him from learning one key and instrumental lesson, that being it's not all about him. Strange actually learned that lesson, thankfully, and applied it to analyze the future scenarios when it came time to face Thanos on Titan. To get specific, Doctor Strange used the Time Stone to look at 14,605 possible futures concerning the coming battle with Thanos. Out of all of those possible timelines, only one was victorious. But one has to ask, if Strange is using the Time Stone to analyze the future and the odds were that stacked against them, why stop at 14,605? Why not look at 14,606? 15 million? 20? So on and so forth until a secondary option becomes available? The question fans were asking was, how do the Avengers beat Thanos, when instead, we should have been thinking about what the Ancient One told Doctor Strange, and that is that it's not all about him. For all we know, the solution that Doctor Strange found wasn't the 14,605th option. He could have found his winning option at 10 million, for instance, but by the time he got to 14,605, he had an epiphany and realized what he really had to do. It was at that number where he applied the Ancient One's lesson. Confused? Well, we are dealing with the mystic arts here, so let's back up a little bit before pulling the curtain back completely. On Ebony Maw's ship in Infinity War, Strange confirms to Peter Parker and Tony Stark that their lives are second when it comes to the safety of the stone. Not exactly in a selfless mood there, Strange. For all the talk of being enlightened in the Doctor Strange movie, the Sorcerer Supreme is still a bit of a jerk and is thinking with a narrow mind. But during his meditative journey through the timelines, Strange underwent some serious character growth. To Tony, Peter, and the Guardians, Strange's peek into the future appeared to have taken a few minutes at best. His head moved very quickly, and the green glow of the Time Stone showed he was utilizing the stone to its full potential. But what may have been a few minutes to us and the Avengers, who were arguing about plans at the same time, may have been lifetimes for Doctor Strange. After all, going through over 14 million timelines will take some time, even if it is just to look at one particular moment in time. So, bearing that in mind, it's likely that the Sorcerer Supreme went through a lot of character growth as he peeked into the possible futures. When Strange returns to the present reality that we've been watching in the movie, he looks visibly shaken up and even a little distressed after suddenly falling back onto the rocks. This could be him realizing how stacked the odds are against the heroes, but bearing what we just explained in mind, there could also be another reason for his unease. As he went through each and every timeline, Strange was likely trying to find out a way to separate the gauntlet from Thanos and stay alive in the process. But time and time again, they failed to stop Thanos. That is, until Doctor Strange remembered the Ancient One's lesson. When Strange hypothetically decided to apply her lesson, Strange comes back to Earth feeling pretty shaken up. He knows he has to die in order to save the day. It's understandably a lot to take in, but after seeing so much failure, Strange realizes now what he has to do. The minute he gave up the Time Stone in exchange for Tony's life created a new timeline, one that requires a bit of faith in his peers and allies to get the job done without him. He could have easily spent a few more minutes browsing the futures and trying to find a secondary option for them to play out, but he realized this was a futile plan. In order to win, they had to lose. Specifically, he had to lose. Strange finally found some enlightenment and was willing to sacrifice himself and the Time Stone, his treasured possession, for the life of Tony Stark. What's so special about Tony? Well, he'll likely play a very important role in the upcoming movie Endgame, perhaps helping the Avengers out with the quantum realm and time travel once Scott Lang comes a-knockin'. Backing up this theory is Strange's apology to Tony. After surrendering the Time Stone, Tony appears horrified that Thanos is now in possession of the stone in exchange for his life.
Why would you do that? There was no other way.
This suggests that Strange wasn't being totally honest with Tony about their odds, and that now it's the only way. With Strange's last gambit, it could very well end in ruin, and we've seen those ruins in the Endgame teaser. But there could very well be light at the end of the tunnel thanks to the choices he made on Titan. One of the biggest criticisms of the 2016 Doctor Strange film was that, narratively speaking, it was very similar to the first Iron Man movie. Heck, the two characters are very similar as well, being arrogant, rich, successful, and egotistical. While that may have been a fault before, it may actually be a well-designed character beat for Doctor Strange bearing this theory in mind. By sacrificing himself as opposed to trying to fight Thanos more, Strange placed the fate of the universe in someone who is eerily quite similar to him except for one critical difference. While Doctor Strange is a magician and an extraordinary being, Tony is, by all accounts, a pretty regular guy with a superior intellect. In a world where Thor can dive into battle from another planet, Strange can fight Thanos one-on-one and hold his own, and Captain Marvel is said to be the most powerful hero in the MCU, the fate of the universe now lies in the hands of someone perhaps less than spectacular in the grand scheme of things. Talk about taking a leap of faith. When Doctor Strange peeked into the future, he saw over 14 million failures. But there was one option that, while a gamble, could end in success. It's a huge risk and no guarantee of success, but by changing his future, Doctor Strange changed everyone's destiny. If that's the only way they win, then sure, Doctor Strange may have been a bit shaken at the concept of it all, but it's something he's now willing to accept if that means stopping Thanos in the long run. For now, we can just wait for Avengers Endgame to hit the big screen this April. Just don't expect much in the way of Doctor Strange. That is, unless the Avengers go back in time and find the Sorcerer Supreme in the past. Time, pun very much intended, will tell. What do you think about this theory, though? Did Doctor Strange spend untold amounts of time looking into future timelines, causing him to make the hard call and change the outcome? Or is this theory stretching a bit too much, and we must accept that Doctor Strange really just did see a 1 in 14 million shot of winning against Thanos? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in your playlist every day. Thanks for watching!